So today here in class we are going to be recording how to take a temperature, a pulse, and respirations the way that hopefully you'll do it at state. They want you to count the pulse for a full minute, the respirations for a full minute, and you should know how to work an oral thermometer. So here we go. Knock, knock, knock. Hey Terry, I'm Misty. I'm going to be your nurse today. So what we're going to do is get your temperature, pulse, and respirations, okay? Okay. All right, so you're going to hand hygiene. You're going to get your thermometer. You should have a digital thermometer. And then you're going to have a paper sheath or a plastic sheath, and you need to be able to open it. Slide your thermometer in. Remove the paper. Press the button to turn it on. And it should zero out. And then you're going to place the thermometer under your patient's tongue. And it should beep when it's ready. At state, you are going to have a human, so you're going to be getting an actual temperature. Beep, beep, beep. So you're actually going to get a value. Say it's 98.6. So you need to remove your sheath without contaminating yourself. Clean your thermometer. I don't believe this step is required at state, but it's always good practice to clean the thermometer. Put it back where you got it. Clean your hands. And you should have your recording form at state. You're going to go ahead and record your 98.6 on your recording form. And then the next step that you should be getting is your pulse. So you've already cleaned your hands, so now you can go to your patient. Your nurse examiner is probably going to be on the other side of the patient, and they're going to be counting a radial pulse with you. My invisible nurse examiner is here counting a radial pulse on a non-existent hand, but Terry's hand is available over on his left side. So you need to be able to locate that radial pulse accurately. What you're going to do is pronate the hand just a little bit. So the hand should be turned to the side just a little bit, or you should be able to locate the radial pulse from coming on the outside. You're going to look for the radius, which is this bone right here on the top. This is the one that radiates out. So you're going to look for the radius, and then you're going to look for the wrist, the bend of the wrist on the side of the thumb, and you're going to place 2 fingers on the pulse site. So you should be able to find it, like on myself, you should be able to find it in between the radius here and the tendons here. You should be able to find it right there. I just happen to have a scar there from a long time ago, so it's really easy to find my pulse. But on the other arm, it should be the same thing. Here's my radius. Here are my tendons. Right in between is where you're going to find the pulse, on the thumb side. That's where they're looking for you to find a pulse. So you're going to find your pulse. You should be using 2 fingers, as much surface area as you can for those 2 fingers. And you're going to use the distal part of the joint, the third section of the fingers, not all the way up here because you don't have as good sensation up here. So you should be using the distal portion, the distal third of your fingertips. So you place your fingers and you say, okay, we're going to start counting your pulse for a full minute starting now. And so we're going to pretend a full minute has elapsed. Okay, Terry, we're done counting your pulse, and it was 82. So you're going to record your pulse on your recording form as 82 under the section where it says pulse, 82. If you record it in the wrong place, you would have failed. And so the next thing that you have to get is your respirations. So you do want to get a full cycle of respirations. So you're going to take a really good look at your patient and see when they're inhaling, and exhaling. You want to catch them on the downturn of their exhale. You don't want to get only a partial breath, like an inhale, and then catch them on the exhale, because you don't know what the nurse examiner is going to count. You need a full cycle of inhalation and exhalation. If you can't see it really well on your patient at state, whether they're lying down or sitting up, you can raise the bed if you need to see them a little bit closer, or you can ask the patient to place your hand on their diaphragm or their chest so you can count for a full minute accurately. You need to do the same thing with your nurse examiner on the other side. You need to tell him or her when you're going to start counting. So you're going to say, okay, Terry, we're going to count your respiration starting right now. I lied. You're going to say, okay, Terry, we're going to count your respirations for a full minute. starting right now. And we're going to pretend a full minute has elapsed. Okay, Terry, we got a value of 17. And so you would record that on your recording form. Be sure you record it on the right field where it says respirations. And I believe that would be it, temperature, pulse, respirations. That would be the completion of that skill. So you would clean your hands, make sure your patient is safe, that they do have their call bell in reach. Their bed's at a safe height. You might want to clean your hands again if you touch anything before you leave the room. And then you would leave the room. I'm probably going to have to redo that again because you know what I forgot to do?
You weren't supposed to announce respiration.